I want to. Like, I just need to get past the barrier of like my mind saying,
Yeah.
yeah.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Good.
So I'm not vegan.
Okay.
Not vegetarian.
All right.
And I know there's all these benefits to health and the environment by going vegan and by going even just vegetarian.
Sure.
What made you start, or what, like, where did you
when
start?
did I decide to start going vegan? It was about a few years ago. I was watching an interview with Moby, the musician. I don't know if you know Moby, but yeah, okay, he's a popular musician who's also animal rights activist and vegan. And in the interview, they showed a few minutes of slaughterhouse footage.
Oh, well, yes.
And then they, which, you know, I always thought was a necessary evil, because I thought we were omnivorous biologically, but it turns out we're just socially omnivorous. We don't need that stuff for our health. Like you were saying, there's so many health benefits to eating just whole foods, plant-based diet 100% of the time. So once I knew that I didn't need it for my health, which they also talked about in the interview, and then I saw the slaughterhouse footage, I was like, there's no reason. I always say I love animals and I love my cats and my dogs. It's very speciesist of me to choose one species over another, as being, you know, in China they eat dogs, and other places they eat horses, and and in India the cows are supposed to be protected, which is all very speciesist of us. You know, all these animals deserve a right to live out their lives because they show a will to live. So they're sentient beings who feel love and pain, and they have families. So why create so much suffering when I don't have to for my nutrition?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's when I stopped. It took me a couple months to go completely vegan. I still had some yogurt and dairy products in my fridge that I was getting, but that's because I didn't look into the horrors of the dairy industry. I didn't realize that they have to like artificially inseminate the cows over and over and over. They don't put them on like cowmatch.com and they have a compatible partner, you know, and they have this romantic candlelit evening.
No.
We have to mass produce these products, so we go in there with our fists all the way up to our elbow in their anus, and we forcibly rape them over and over and over again when they're children, until they eventually can't take the rape anymore and their bodies are exhausted, and we slaughter them for the meat in our meat industry. So it's this really sadistic cycle. It's destructive, like you were saying, for the environment and for our health, but first and foremost, morally, I can't justify having a fleeting taste bud pleasure over the life of an innocent individual.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of pushed me there.
Well, what were the steps that you first started with, like, just
replacing my products?
Like, turkey, or just?
Well, like I said, it was a couple months of vegetarianism, where I still had some yogurt that I was putting in my smoothies. Completely needless, because where I was shopping for my yogurt, right next to it was the vegan yogurt, and so I could have just been getting that, or cutting it out and replacing it with, you know, almond milk and things like that.
There's no need for it.
You're absolutely right.
We're not infants.
Right, totally. It's so weird that we drink the breast milk of another species as
like,
adults.
We wouldn't do that you wouldn't take your mother's milk later on in life.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need it.
Totally. Yeah, you're right.
Can I take this?
Absolutely, it's all yours. It has some information on there. I strongly encourage checking out vegan22.com. It'll.
Can I write that down?
Yeah, it's right there. Boom, right under health. And it'll kind of provide you the resources to help walk you through how to maintain eating kind of the same you are now. You know, pasta, pizza, ice cream, but making sure you're eating the cruelty-free and maybe even the healthier alternatives.
There's even like cauliflower crust and everything like that.
Yeah. Here in Chico, there's so many good options. I can't remember which pizza place it is. I think they have cauliflower crust there. But yeah, we're actually getting a vegan pizza place opening up soon.
Dang.
Called Pizza Riot, I think, here in
Awesome.
Chico, so that'll be cool. But there's so many options in a modern civilized society. There's no reason. You go to the grocery store, move your hand from here to there, and you're done. And then you can
And
think
I work
about.
at a grocery store, so like.
Oh, do you?
The only problem is right now, I live at home in Gridley, and like my parents love meat, like love it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, if I'm gonna have a meal at the end of the day as dinner, I'm going to have to eat what they eat, and they usually eat meat. And so I'm just like, well, when I move out.
Yeah. And hopefully your parents will be encouraging. You know, you can just tell them, hold the meat. I'm going to go ahead and replace it with some beans, and throw some beans or some avocado and some rice in there. Make sure you're getting an abundance of
proteins.
plant foods and stuff, all plants have protein in them,
Exactly.
so it's really easy to get your protein intake. But what's a little bit more difficult, I think, for a lot of people is transitioning to that caloric intake, because a tiny piece of meat is packed with calories, not a lot of nutrients, but a lot of like saturated fat and cholesterol. It makes you feel full and has a lot of calories, but it's not really sending any nutrients throughout your body. So you do have to replace that small amount of meat with an abundance of plant foods. But if you're doing that, you can totally optimize your health. You'll feel way better in the long run. Yeah.
That's why I want to go vegan.
Yeah, go for it. It's super easy. So that resource will actually provide you a mentor. Any questions you have, ask them day or night, and it's totally free, and they'll answer all your questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right on.
Thank you.
Yes, it was great meeting you. What's your name?
Ellie.
Ellie, I'm Jackson.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I want to. Like, I just need to get past the barrier of like my mind saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get so used to doing one thing. We are creatures of habit, so it's just a matter of like. That's why I led the the 22-day challenge, because it takes about 21 days to break habit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so a lot of people don't know how dependent our bodies become on a certain substance just because we've consumed it for so long. Like cigarette smokers, when they quit smoking cigarettes, they might backslide and have a cigarette like a week later, and they'll go, "Oh my gosh, I feel so much better now that I had a cigarette." And that's not because the cigarette's good for them. It's because their body was so used to taking in that substance for so long. So it'll be the same with meat, dairy, and eggs. These are very addictive substances. So yeah, it's just a matter of like being diligent and conscientious, and just remember where the food is actually coming from. That there's an animal tortured and mutilated to get that food on your plate, and it's just needless.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
I'm gonna go.
Right on. Right on. Have fun.
Thanks.
See ya.